You know, it's strange. For most of modern history, Russia's biggest advantage in war has been, well, Russia itself. The size, the distance, that whole idea that you could march in, but you'd never make it out. Napoleon found out. So did Hitler. But here we are in 2025, and suddenly all that land, those endless forests, frozen roads, empty skies, is starting to look more like a burden than a shield. Because Ukraine has figured out how to fight a giant. They're not trying to match Russia tank for tank or soldier for soldier. They're doing something smarter, more precise. They're turning Russia's geography against it. You've probably heard about it by now. Drones showing up deep inside Russian territory. I mean deep. Thousands of kilometers from the front lines. There was that one Operation Spiderweb, where drones struck bombers all the way in Irkutsk. That's Siberia. That's not a border skirmish. That's a wake-up call. And these aren't billion-dollar stealth drones. These are garage-built, sometimes even civilian-modified machines launched from inside trucks. Cheap, small, effective. It's wild. Now, imagine you're living in Western Russia, say in a suburb of Moscow. 1 year ago, you were untouched. Now, you're hearing air raid sirens, flights are grounded, people are nervous. Even the Kremlin, yes, the Kremlin got hit by a drone in 2023. So what does this mean? It means the myth of Russia's untouchability is cracking, and it's cracking fast. Russia still relies on old Soviet doctrine, giant air defense systems meant for Cold War missiles, not a $1,000 quadcopter with a grenade strapped to it. And Ukraine's not just hitting symbols, they're hitting refineries, rail lines, bridges. They took out 14% of Russia's oil refining capacity. That's not PR. That's pressure. Fuel prices inside Russia spiked so badly they had to start importing from Belarus and banning exports. Then there's the railroads. Russia depends on them. It's a country with awful roads and vast distances. And Ukraine is targeting bridges, collapsing them, derailing trains, not by invading, just by forcing the system to seize up. And what's Putin doing? Well, clearly he didn't expect this. When he invaded in 2022, he was planning for a quick collapse. He thought Ukraine would fold like it did in Crimea, but that didn't happen. And worse, he never planned to defend his own territory. He didn't even consider it. Now, the war's inside his borders, and he's scrambling. Of course, some analysts say Ukraine's not doing enough, that they're hitting symbolic targets, not strategic ones. But the way I see it, this is just the beginning. As one Ukrainian general said, we lack tools. But once they have the right drones, longer-range missiles, and battlefield AI, the damage will go from disruptive to irreversible. And here's the part Europe needs to hear. This isn't just a Russian problem. This is the new face of war. Your border doesn't matter if a drone can fly over it. Your deep reserves don't matter if a digital strike can shut them down before they're even deployed. Europe has to learn from this. Fast. Because geography doesn't defend you anymore. Smarts do. Speed does. Technology does. Russia is learning that lesson the hard way. And if we're not careful, we'll be next. So if you're watching from Paris, Berlin, Lisbon, or Warsaw, don't just cheer Ukraine on. Start asking, are we ready? Because in this war, the battlefield has no rear. Everything is the front line now.